Hey everyone, this is MrAddOil again, helping you fight your today for your better tomorrow. And then in this video, we're going to be talking about the last pillar of personal growth, and that is becoming a mentor yourself and mentoring the next generation. And the reason why this is an important aspect that you should have in your life is because you learn a lot when you teach. So in the last few videos, we talked about first receiving mentorship, right? Having someone invest in you so that you can become, I guess, like a mini version of that mentor. And because of that, you're able to operate and deliver value, perform kind of similar or like in a little half cadence of the original mentor that mentored you, right? And then once you have that type of, when you're in that level of being like a mini version of your mentor that mentored you, you can find other and go on to the second pillar of personal growth, which is finding like-minded people. And then you compete with them, you exchange best practices, and there you also test your abilities and you start growing it by competing with other people in the same space, right? And then in this video, we're gonna be talking about how you can give back, how you can really solidify your personal growth by taking what you've learned from a mentor and then taking what you've experienced by competing with people who are in the same level or the same league as you, and then transferring that over to someone else who's starting from a complete beginner level. And the second benefit of mentoring someone, teaching someone, is you learn more about your own challenges from the lives and experience of your mentee. So an example of that in my life was, I think in this whole video series, I was talking about my journey, my breakdancing journey, right? So yes, when I was younger, in 6th grade, I received mentorship from really great breakdancers at the time. And then once I got older, when I was like high school, late high school, early college, I had an opportunity to give back to my community by going back to my high school and becoming a breakdance instructor of my own. So at that time, man, like I felt like my abilities, my knowledge of the art of breakdancing just like skyrocketed because I just took what I've learned from all the mentors at the time. So I was learning from my primary mentor, B-Boy Profile One, his brother, Rob Nasty. These are really interesting names. And then B-Boy Machine, B-Boy Milestones, and then from like peers like B-Boy Kid David, B-Boy Noel Roxwell. So I had all these like experience, and then for my own personal crew, right, the Boogie City residents, can't forget them. So I had all of these like mentors and then these like-minded peers that invested in me, and I also reciprocated that and invested in them. I just had all this experience bottled up inside of me, and then when I was given that opportunity to become a mentor for these other upcoming, you know, new gen breakdancers at my high school, then it was just a great opportunity for me to pass on what I've learned and invest in the next generation. And when I was teaching these like high school students, like I really saw myself, mini versions of myself in them, where I was like, oh, they're struggling with this move. Ahaha, I also struggled with that when I was younger. And then that really helped me understand how to overcome these challenges. Like challenges comes in waves, right? You never truly overcome a challenge. You just get better at handling it at the moment based on your experience and your skills for handling that particular challenge. So when I was able to guide my students through their struggles when they're learning a particular move, it just really helped me solidify my knowledge and expertise in that area. And I think I didn't cover this in my previous videos, but like when you become a mentor, you not only impart your skills, your knowledge, and your experience onto the people that you're mentoring, your mentees, but you also give them like the full package, right? So when I was a mentor for these high school students, like I brought them into the world of breakdancing, right? So I exposed them to competitions in the SF Bay Area, the whole hip hop culture in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. And then I introduced them to like my crew. Some of them we recruited onto my crew because they're really good at what they did at the time. And I also introduced them to my mentors and my peers who they were like, whoa, these guys are super cool. Like one of my students was like, man, you know Kid David? Wow, I'll love to like shake his hand. And I was just like, that's cool. I grew up with the dude, so it wasn't like a big deal for me, but for like these high school students that I was mentoring, like it meant the world to them, right? So, I mean, you just experience that joy of like giving back to your community, giving back to the next generation, and giving back in a way where it's like, man, I got invested so much when I was growing up, and I hope I can bring that, invest in like these new generation of breakdancers or these new generations in a much better way. And that's it for this video series. So we talked about the 3 pillars of personal growth, and they are receiving mentorship, finding like-minded people, and then becoming a mentor yourself and giving back to the next generation. So this is, I would call this a living practice because depending on your stage in life, I mean, you can still implement all of these, whether you're a young kid, whether you're fresh out of college, whether you're a professional, whether you're like much older. And the best way is that as you keep practicing these things, like you never really get old because it keeps you fresh, it keeps you at the top of your game, right? Once you're receiving mentorship from someone who's further along in their life than you, it's like I'm just thinking of analogies on top of my head. It's like, I guess it would be like a waterfall effect, right? The waterfall is like passing this very valuable substance called water down the stream. So in that particular order, right? I think this is the particular order. You receive mentorship, then you practice it with your peers, and then you teach it to the next generation. When you're practicing all of these 3 pillars or these 3 elements in your life, then that really helps you with your personal growth, which early on in the video, I defined it as placing a goal or setting up a goal and accomplishing it. I think that definition breaks, but what practicing all of these 3 pillars really help you in accomplishing is just growth in general, right? Not confined to a goal, but when you practice all of these elements, you're growing in a variety of ways that you don't really know much about until like years later. When you reflect back, you get deeper levels of insight. I know all of that sounds very confusing and kind of abstract, but hopefully you got some sort of value, some sort of nuggets of inspiration from this video series, and I hope that you are able to practice these 3 pillars of growth in your life in the future, or even now. The best time to do it is now. So, and again, this is MrAddOil helping you fight your today for your better tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next video.